So it wasn't really the plan to take off the high top roof, but we've done it. Woohoo! Got a freezer! Over the last few weeks, it's put a big strain on our relationship.
And now she's leaving and going to Australia. And I'm a little bit nervous that she's not going to come back.
Finally having our Kombi Adventuremobile Boomerang on the island of Jersey in the UK was a big achievement. Boomerang had been lost at sea for a few weeks between the USA and England, but we managed to collect him from the shipping port of Felixstowe and loaded him up with as many supplies as possible for the build. We were now eager to begin transforming the Kombi into a mobile studio capable of extended off-grid travel around the world.
We weren't actually intending to take the roof off this far, we were just going to replace the seal on the front. But some of these holes where the screws go through the high top into the metal have started to rust, which means they will eventually expand and the screws will no longer hold in the hole. So we're going to treat these with some metal protection, oxidization type jazz, but it'll be a nightmare to fix in the future. So we are going to do it now, treat it as best as we possibly can so that we don't have that problem 5 years down the road.
Now we've glued it together with Sikaflex stuff, which is like flexible glue, and it's permanent, so if we ever need to take this roof off again in the future, it's going to be a nightmare. But it's okay because it's going to block out all the air gaps, and it's on really tight, much tighter than it was before. Yeah, we're pretty happy about that.
As with all things Volkswagen, it was slightly more work than we thought it was going to be, partly because there was rust underneath that we wanted to take care of whilst we had the opportunity, but it's all good now. It's sat back down, everything's sealed, and on to the next one.
On to the next major work on this Kombi.
There is a lot that goes into a van build like this, and we were going to need some help if we were going to get through the mountain of tasks ahead of us. My dad is an electrician by trade, and so he came on board to help us with the first interior task. I'd worked with him a few years previously on the family business to earn money to complete the Alaska expedition. Now, we would be working together again, but this time it would be on our home. Good day to get this fan working on the hottest day Jersey's ever seen. Well, not quite, but it's pretty warm. That's nice.
Beautiful.
Want to go?
No, I'm going to keep what I have got.
Whilst the interior of the Kombi is stripped bare, now is the time to run all of the cables for our studio. And let me tell you, for what we have planned for this Kombi, there are a lot of them. Woke up at 5 o'clock this morning today thinking about this van. The sun is setting. It's the summertime in Britain, so there's quite a lot of sunshine. It's been a long day. Every day's a long day, but it's kind of fun.
Why are you scraping the paint off that I just put on?
Good question, Leah. Because I want to make a really good ground for the electrical connections, I am scraping it off to make it all shiny metal, but this isn't a really inaccessible place, so what I'm going to do is I've made up this thick gauge, heavy gauge wire, and I'm going to ground it there behind the panel in the insulation, which would be a nightmare to get to. I'm going to make a really solid connection with a nut and bolt, and then I'm going to run the cable out here to something like this, so that I can run all of my ground connections into this one location, which should make troubleshooting on the road a lot easier, because all the grounds are going to be in one place rather than having them spread out around the van, and which would be a nightmare to try and track down. So yeah, this is an investment in our future. That's why, Leah. Well, back you.
It's too small.
Hang on, that's my side. Switch.
Man, do I have to sleep this close?
That's better.
Now I have to sit like right next to you like this, sticking to each other. Our 3/4 bed sure did seem small, especially with what we had been used to with our full-size bed in our previous Kombi Capito. As you can see from this time lapse that we recorded in 2015 whilst driving the Alaska Highway, we liked our bed and we used every single square inch of it.
However, we had agreed on a 3/4 size bed when we were camping in the VW Euro van lent to us by our friends Go Westy.
Because this is a 3/4 bed.
Yeah, and I was very against it. I'm like, we're not getting a 3/4 bed. I need my space to sleep. But this has been alright. But I think I can get used to this.
The plus side of this smaller bed is that we'll have more space to carry spare VW parts for the expedition.
You mean clothes, right?
Yeah.
Bed.
You wish. Enough of all this work, let's go and stretch Boomerang's legs. He's been sitting for far too long. Let's go for a drive. Who's driving?
Me.
Aww. Someone's ready. Where am I? Squeeze up, Alaska, squeeze up. Still missing the middle seat.
We drive on the left, but I usually drive on the right, in the right position. So yeah, it's a bit difficult. I'll get used to it.
How's it driving?
It's good actually. It's a bit, it started a bit cold, but it's been good. It's got a lot of power here in Jersey.
Nothing in the back, that's why.
It's lighter.
Those of you that have watched our previous travel series will know about the tragic fire that we had in our Kombi.
Yes.
We weren't there to put that out.
No.
But luckily our hero Chad was there to put out the fire, and there wasn't too much damage done. Well, it was devastating, and there was a lot of damage done.
There was a lot of damage, and it was a long time. It took a couple of weeks to clean it out, to clean out smoke, and we chucked out half of our possessions, more than half, 4 weeks.
It was, yeah, all up.
But we did recover that from that, thanks to Chad and some help from Brett. For the next adventure, for the big challenge of driving across the world, we want to take it a bit more seriously and think about some of these problems that we might encounter.
We're not going to have another fire again, basically. We're going to make sure of that.
Yes.
And we're doing that by
installing this awesome piece of kit. What is it? It's a Blazecut fire suppression system. This is basically an automatic fire extinguisher which you can put into small enclosures like engine bays, or server cabinets for electronics and stuff like that, and it basically sits there and is such a peace of mind.
Yeah, if for some reason our engine catches on fire, this will put it out before it spreads and does much damage. That's it. That's all there is. It's pretty simple to put in. Are you going to be able to do that, Ben?
Yeah, I'll give it a go.
Some people that have used this have said that the only time they realised they had a fire was when this thing exploded and put out the fire. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
So let's go see how it clips in. So as you can see, the Blazecut is pressurised basically, so it lets out this liquid which will extinguish the fire when it reaches about 110 to 120 degrees centigrade, which is about twice what it should be at normal running temperatures. So basically, if there's a fire inside and it heats up enough, probably before we even know that there's a problem, this tube will melt and release everything and put out the fire before there's any major damage done, which is a massive relief. This is our basically cheap insurance policy. I cannot believe that this thing is not in all cars, given how easy it is to install. In theory.
Can I ask a question first?
Yeah, what?
Does the liquid in here ruin the engine when it comes out?
No, it says on the front here, clean, leaves no residue, maintenance free, cost effective, non-toxic and long durability, so it lasts years and years and years, so we should be able to drive all the way to Australia, hopefully without this thing exploding at all. Ooh, it's lively. I thought I almost snipped through the, imagine that. That would have been a fun video, wouldn't it? So we should route this above the hottest part of the engine, or the part with the gasoline lines that are most likely to cause an issue, with the pressure bar at the front so we can read it to see that it's still got its pressure. Cannot believe how easy that was to install. Just a few zip ties and go anywhere. I'm probably going to put in a few more secure mounting points, but for now that is it. That's our security policy. At least we will be able to recover from any damage that happens with a fire now in the engine bay, and it won't be completely catastrophic, game over. Let's get on the road. This is our kitchen.
Combination. Kombi.
Combination stove and fridge. Alright, you want to have a look at this, Leah?
Yeah.
In our previous Kombi, we opted for a much more simple setup for cooking meals. We had a cheap 2-burner camping cooker connected to a large, out-of-date propane bottle from Chile, and it was prone to leaking gas.
The beauty of this setup was that we could decide where we wanted to cook meals. We had the option of cooking inside the Kombi or outside on the alfresco cooking table we installed at the back. Not at all stealthy, but still quite fun. This was great on hot nights and on occasions when cooking was more social. And it also helped from any cooking odours from lingering in the Kombi. But the reality was that 99% of the time, we ended up cooking on the floor of the van, and that is neither comfortable nor hygienic. The other downside of our previous mobile cooker is that we had to construct the cooker every time we wanted to cook a meal, toast some bread, or brew up a nice cup of coffee. Making up a cooker is actually a bit of a novelty, but when you live full-time in a tiny mobile home, it's a pain in the butt. So this time, we're installing a space-saving Dometic stove sink combo inside the Kombi, which will make cooking a much more enjoyable task. Cool. Oh, I didn't know you got that.
Yes.
Cool.
So now you can have water from a tank to
I'm so
to the
glad we
sink.
have this.
This is
Gas
very important.
detector.
Gas detector detects all kinds of gases actually that can knock you out, including propane. So that is vital, and we'll be talking more about that in our safety preparations for the road overlanding.
Yeah, I'm so glad we have that. And a tap. It's really exciting to have these. Like we haven't never had a fridge before, a fridge and a sink. So this is really exciting.
Let's have a look. Can't wait to see what this thing looks like inside the van. It's going to be an actual home. It's starting to take shape.
I can do the dishes in peace.
Did you hear that?
Easy.
Leah has just volunteered to do the dishes permanently, full time. I'm alright with that.
We have a fridge. We have a fridge.
This is the first fridge that we bought together. Ah, must be getting serious.
We're gonna have cold beers and ice cream and cold yogurt.
Also known as yogurt. Oh, it's so light.
Is this to wash now?
Mum, come and look at my fridge.
Wow, that's amazing.
I know what you're thinking. It's small, isn't it? You're thinking you'd never get the weekly shop in there.
You'll only get 3 beers in that and a tub of ice cream.
It's van life, Mum. You have to live. It's simple living.
Oh, I like that. Yeah, I like that. That's good.
One step closer to a proper house, Mum. Got appliances.
Yeah.
It's just going into a mobile home.
Woohoo! Got a freezer.
Oh my gosh. Got a freezer. We are literally going to be able to have ice cream.
Yes, and you can fit a bottle of wine in here. It looks.
Test.
Right. Beer.
More beer.
More beer. And oh my gosh, yes,
Prosecco.
perfect. Prosecco, sorry.
That's it. We don't need any more
That's
supplies.
it.
We can
That's-
drive to Australia like this.
That's the only reason why we wanted a fridge is for beer and cold wine. Chilled wine. Cool, man. I'm excited.
At this point, we'd been working on this world expedition project for around 8 months, and this Kombi had taken way more work than we had originally expected. But that's okay, because up until this point, we've been setting the foundations of this nomadic life of exploration and building our home together. But now, that must change, because Leah has to leave Kombi Life. She's set to go home to Australia to see her brother who's having a baby. Unfortunately, she can't return back to the UK afterwards, as she needs to stay out of the country for visa reasons.
I've done this a few times, like left them and left Ben and left the Kombi, and it's every time it's really hard, but this time is extremely hard.
First of all, you know, I spent years with her now, every day, from the time I got my visa after I was banned from the US, and then I went back, and then we fixed the car up, the Kombi, when it burnt down, and we've been through so much together. We went through the whole of Alaska together, and we shared so many triumphs and failures, and it's been an emotional roller coaster. So we've become really close because we really do spend so much time together. We live together, we work together, we do everything together. And now she's leaving and going to Australia, and I'm a little bit nervous that she's not going to come back. It's happened to me once before, some of you might remember, when my last relationship didn't work out. Sean never came back, and that kind of sucks, that process, and it would be a lot worse this time.
I think this build has put a huge strain on our relationship, and we've been fighting quite a lot. And I think just also the closer it came to me leaving, the more pressure, I guess, stress has developed in both of us, and me mainly.
There is some concern that she's going to go and she's not going to come back, and I'm worried that she's going to go to Australia and she's not going to come back, and this could be the end for us. I really hope that it's not.